Hello! I am so excited.
Hi,
It is. I'm so excited. We have an amazing superwoman who has joined the SuperWomenCan podcast today. I'm going to introduce her very shortly. Her name is Sadia Ali. But before I do that, I want to remind you that the SuperWomenCan podcast has been created for women of color to smash past every narrative that told us that we cannot, because we can. We are superwomen that can. And we are going to do this is what's amazing about the podcast is that we bring successful, amazing women onto every single episode to tell you how to do it. I'm all about the how. I've heard all the what's and whys, but we're here all about the how and how you can overcome all the barriers, the imposter syndrome, anything that's holding you back so that you can really accelerate in your career, your business, and your lives, and to have more money, more holidays, more everything. And on the subject of money, we have the perfect person over here. Now, Sadia Ali, without further ado, it is over to you, my dear.
Okay, so hi everyone, I'm Sadia. I run a financial literacy company, empowering people to take control of their finances. I worked in the corporate world where I managed over 40 billion. Left 2 years ago, and then last year I was able to set up my own financial literacy company for a whole host of reasons that we're probably going to get into. But yeah, so that's a quick introduction of me.
Thank you for sharing a little bit about yourself. Did you say 40 billion? 40 billion? You used to manage accounts for 40 billion. Okay. Not quite where I am yet, just yet.
One day.
Yeah, not too far off, may I add. Now, I know that you're making quite a ripple right now. And I know that as a woman of color, we definitely need this. We need finance back. We need the skills. We need the knowledge. We need the tools. Tell me more about exactly what you do and how you help women and women of color and people in general to really accelerate in their finances. I'm dying to know.
Okay, so we provide the literacy, the knowledge, the coaching, the mentoring, and the accountability to help you crush your financial goals, whatever they might be. So we have this whole thing, my company's called Wealth with Sadia, and we have this whole ethos that wealth can be anything that you want it to be. So whatever your goals are, we help you get through your challenges and get towards them, and take away break down all the pieces of the puzzle and get towards them, because finances can be so scary and they can be this huge thing and people get so freaked out so they don't even tackle it. But we just take all the scaries out. We provide the one-on-one coaching, the accountability, the support to guide you through.
Yeah, and I think definitely we need that. I'm just thinking back to when I started working, I was only young, 17. I had no clue about my finances, and I went to work in the finance sector. And I remember getting my first salary going, oh my days, I'm pretty much rich. And then spending the entire amount straight away because I had it. And then the next month would come and I would just spend it. I couldn't even tell you what I was spending it on. And then the bank would go, oh, here's an overdraft. And I'm like, oh my days, even extra to spend. Then I'd spend the overdraft. And then I was like, now I owe the overdraft. And then my money would come in. It would be taken over by the overdraft. And then I'll be like, I still feel like I've got money, but I haven't, because technically I'm borrowing money, the same money every single month. And so my life continued like that. And I never, ever learned how to manage it, really. I didn't until I went into business. I was like, oh my days, shock culture. In fact, it's probably when I met my husband, let's face it. My husband is a saver. He's met his match with a spender. And he's no, this is not going to happen anymore. And he helped me along the way. But I really you said there's accountability. I really want to know exactly, I know you said there's accountability, you help people, but I want to know exactly what you do. What is it that, like, how could you help someone like me who's constantly just impulsively spending? I'm impulsively spending.
Yeah, so you hit the nail on the head. Like, making the money is one part of the coin. The second part is how to manage it, knowing how to use it strategically and position it in a way to make it grow. And I love the fact that your husband helped you along your way, because we always talk about marriage being like a wealth hack. it can literally take you all the way up towards your goals or come crashing down. So you definitely go faster together in any direction. So it's completely bespoke right now. It's just a one-on-one coaching. So it's completely bespoke to your goals. So in our first session, we'll map out where you want to get to. So your big goals, we'll break them down.
My goals is to be a millionaire. Let's just face that, okay? So
okay, love it.
Listening, I want to just put it out there that I'm a big believer on putting big, massive goals. Go for the biggest goal and then work your way towards that. So let's say I am going to be a millionaire. I'm not far from there. Billion may be a bit harder, but let's just say I'm going to be a million, the big multi-million.
Yes, okay. So I love that you're dreaming big. So the first thing is obviously to be like, look at where we are. So do a financial audit to see what's going on. What is your income? What's your expenditure? Where can we strategically place some of that money to grow? If you want to be a millionaire, then we definitely need our income to be exceeding our expenses by a lot. And then we need to be investing that. So we need to get to the point to invest and grow that money so that you can become a millionaire. But there are some steps that you need to take before that are vital. Like, for example, so like this building wealth has like historically and notoriously been associated with a very particular type of person. And my whole thing is that I want to break that down because women of color, anyone can build wealth. All you need to do is learn how money works. Honestly, you need to learn how money works. So yes, to become a millionaire, absolutely need to start investing. You need to invest in cash flowing assets that provide an income, because it's very unlikely that you are going to become a millionaire with just your income. It's just, as you said, like you literally will spend up to what you make. That's just how it goes psychologically. Like the more you make, the more you spend. So you have to place them strategically in cash flowing assets that provide an income, so that over time, not only is it providing you another income, but it's giving you increased amounts of freedom so that you can start that business, you can follow that passion. But as I said, before you get to that investing stage, you've got to place the right step, like foundation down. It's so important to place the right foundation. So if you aren't from that stereotypical background of someone who builds wealth, we've got to look at your mindset. We've got to look at your comfort position. So I don't know about you, but I've been in a situation where I've been earning a lot. The other day I was reading that 51% six-figure earners are living paycheck to paycheck. Six-figure earners living paycheck to paycheck. That's and I actually think that's not accurate. I think more than 51% do, because it's just so easy to, right? So we need to think back to what is your comfort position around money? Like, why are you always spending all your money? Did you have good financial role models? So as I was saying, I've been in situations where I would literally burn out all my money. I could never get ahead with money. No matter how much I made, I was always chasing another promotion, another client, another paycheck, like constantly, until I learned about how money works. And obviously I was lucky because I worked in an environment where I learned that high income skill. So I was really lucky, but I know most people don't ever even think about how to manage their money, especially if you don't come from that background. You're never going to think about investing. And if you don't think of the investing, how are you going to think of the steps beforehand, like to lay that proper foundation? So mindset is key. I'd say we'd definitely have to look into your mindset and see if you've got that $1 million mindset.
Yeah, no, I think you did some good things there. So one thing you're talking about was growing your money, but then you talked about mindset. So I want to talk about mindset. I want to go to mindset first, and then we're going to talk about the growing bit, because you said mindset. And I know, especially as a woman of color and those who are listening, and allies as well, women in general, our mindset, let's just face it, is one of our biggest blockers. And because we keep getting told these negative stereotypes all the time. Last year, I had to do a lot. I started my business. I had to do a lot of mindset work. One, because, and it took me ages to understand, what is it? It wasn't a fear of failure for me. It was actually a fear of success, because my narrative is that Black women have to work twice as hard to get half as far. Now, in the business I've gone into, that is not the actual truth. You can really do extremely well. And I was like, wait, this is not as hard as I've been working for the past 20 years. It isn't the type of money you get You could make that in a month what you weren't in a year and things like that. So very different world. And my mindset is I had to work out. I was one of those kids that when people go, oh, maybe you heard the words, or what was it? Money grows on trees. I heard that all the time, but I was one of those.
Don't like that.
Yeah, and I was one of those cheeky kids that would go, where does it grow from? Because paper grows on paper is trees, so it does technically grow from the trees. And I'm just sit there going, you are smart pants. So these things that people said, I used to laugh. Like anyone would talk about money, I'd be like, oh, the typical things you'd hear is this. And that wasn't mine. So that wasn't my story. I was a cheeky kid. So that wasn't it. My mum actually gave me something which has helped me in my life, which is really odd. And it won't make sense to you. In my hand, I've got like it's actually gone now. But in my hand, I used to have a birthmark. And this birthmark, she just randomly said when I was a kid, oh, this birthmark means that you'll always have money coming into your hand. You'll never be without money. So guess what? I grew up always thinking I would always have money. So even if I was down to my last penny, I knew it's all right. Money will just come back. And
I love that.
Money will come back. But one thing she also said, which was my default, and I didn't know. She also said one thing, and I think that she ruined it by this word. And it took me a whole year to figure it out. She said, money comes, money goes. Bullseye. I have no problem making money. I have no problem having money. The problem I had was money coming and then money quickly going. And I was like, where you go? You come back. And it's fine, it'll come back. But then it just, as quickly as it came, was as quickly as it went. And that was my mindset. Like, seriously, my mindset. Dealing with that has been quite an interesting one for me. And I'm guessing individuals who are listening right now will probably have their own money story. And that's what you work with, isn't it? Yeah. That was mine. And I had to change, not change the words as such, but change how I felt about those words because they're really ingrained. So now I say money comes and money goes to me. Money, I had to make a destination, right? Money comes and money goes straight back to me. It's always here. It doesn't go anywhere.
I love that.
Yeah, it comes to me.
To always feel neutral towards money. We always want to feel neutral towards money. We don't want to idolize it. And we don't want to be desperate for it because we know the laws of price and whatever you want to be really neutral, and you want to definitely feel gratitude towards the things that it can do for you. But as I always say, money is the tool. I get a lot of hate for what I do. I don't even have a huge following, and I get so much hate because I talk about money and like you can't talk about money, especially not in England anyway. It's such a taboo. It's quite taboo. It's taboo in the world. So obviously it has to be a bit extra in the UK, doesn't it? Yeah, you've got to feel neutral, but massive gratitude for it. Mindset is definitely key. And I love the fact that your perspective towards what you got from your mum. Because we inherit money beliefs from our parents. So it's really important that you mention that actually, because you need to go back and I have to do this with my clients. We look back at their money story. What are they telling themselves? What have they been led to believe their whole life? What have they inherited in terms of money beliefs? And then most often, that is the biggest challenge. That's the biggest challenge.
People don't like you talking about money. That's an interesting one as well, because in the UK, we are really subtle. And then in America, you've got to be really clear. Like I slightly changed my title to say, I want you to accelerate. And my coach was to what? And I was like, to accelerate. We're in the UK. We can't say what we're accelerating to. Higher heights, of course. And what is the higher heights you're aiming for? And I was like, everyone that comes to me needs to be earning. I'm going to get them to 6 figures or more. That's it. Because in the UK, 6 figures or more, we're told is an unachievable amount unless you are a big shot. And actually it's not, it really isn't. So that is my figure and that's my strategy. So that's interesting that you say that. And as soon as I changed that, I was like, I'm going to change it. A set of clientele started contacting, generally the ones abroad, funnily enough. Isn't that interesting? Because that's what they gravitated towards. That made sense for them. So you mentioned, I just can't believe you'd get hate. Tell me a bit more about that. What kind of hate would you get?
Yeah, people talking about stop being obsessed with money. Money isn't the end all and be all. Money doesn't make you happy. Obviously, you can't buy happiness, but that's an internal thing, right? Work on yourself for sure. Be happy within, but that goes for anything, doesn't it? You can't be happy. No one can make you happy. Pardon?
Yeah, no, money can't. I don't know. I hear money can't make you happy, but what you get with money can.
Yeah, like money is the most incredible tool. I don't know how anyone can't see it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I'm biased, but of course, if you're deeply unhappy, money's not going to buy. You can't go to the shop and buy happiness. You can't buy being happy. But money is such an incredible tool. If I just talk about myself, like it's given me so much freedom in my life, like being able to leave the corporate world, being able to work on my passion, being able to start a business. I work like maybe 3-4 hours a day max. I have client calls on 2 days of the week. Like I really own my schedule. I worked in the corporate world where I was a slave. So if I hadn't positioned my money and known what to do with it and used it as a tool that it could be, like I would not be in this position. I spend copious amount of time with my parents. In corporate, I would never be able to do that. I don't have kids yet, but if I imagine when I do, I'll be able to travel with them. I'd love to hear from you. Like, what has money done for you? Because obviously you're a successful business owner. How has it changed your life?
I've traveled a lot. So I travel with all my kids. They've gone to everywhere from Malaysia, China, we didn't go Saudi Arabia. We had people who came to us from Saudi Arabia. We went to Qatar, Dubai, Europe, America, and I'm hoping this year we get to Jamaica. Yeah, we've been America. America's a big place. We've been Canada, America. We've been to Florida. We've been to Ottawa. We've been to Chicago. We've been to LA. We've been to New York.
Nice.
Yeah, I have had a good life. I had a good life, and I say
but isn't that the most incredible thing about starting a business?
Yeah, so for me, it's important to have freedom. So for me, money is not important in the sense that it is important for what it can give you, but for me, it's about freedom. I did not expect to be a mother of 6 children. I left the corporate world as well. I didn't think that this was going to be my life. I didn't know what I was gonna do. It was all about purpose and passion and saying I need to make a change. And I wasn't sure how I was gonna do it. I just knew I needed to do that. And I'm grateful. Yeah. I'm grateful that I get to impact so many people and businesses and then get to have freedom because of it. And it spills into the communities that I'm empowering, Black and ethnic minority communities, women to accelerate in their careers. That's empowering. That's freedom for me and others. That's what I want. So this is what money does. Yeah, and I think we do need to speak about it because we're being told to be ashamed of it. Absolutely.
100%. I think anything that anyone says that you shouldn't talk about it more. I'm just going to start talking about it more and more. No one's going to stop me. I think I read a couple of months ago, that we're more comfortable talking about sex than money, which like for me, I'm just like, talk about what you want, but let's talk about money as well. Like everyone's, especially in the UK, like I don't know about you, but have you ever discussed salaries? Like before you start, obviously as a business owner, it's different. Everyone's quite open, but do people discuss their salaries? And are they open about that?
I think it's a little bit different for me because my background's HR. So all I talked about was salaries, other people's salaries. So I always knew what was going on from a salary point of view. I knew what mine was. I knew what people, and yeah, so salaries is probably different. And we would advise people, especially in the UK, don't disclose your salaries to people because we didn't want other people knowing someone was on higher than the other and such forth and getting the union on us and things like that. So I think salaries is a delicate subject in the UK, but I think for me, from my HR background, it became quite the norm. Money was the normal conversation. How much someone wanted to earn was a normal conversation. So that kind of helped me to see money differently. It's a means to an end. Competitive means what to who. I want to know exactly what you're going to pay me. I'm interested. So we talked about mindset, and I think mindset's powerful. And you talked about how to understand, and what I guess there's some people have trauma when it comes to money.
Yeah.
Trauma.
Yeah. If you watch parents make continuous bad decisions, or it was related to like family problems, that you saw your parents struggle, or you saw your parents work so hard to scrimp and save every single penny to give you a better life. Like, it can lead to so much guilt. It can lead to so much guilt, and that can transpire in the way that you feel about money and the way that you spend it or don't spend it. Or I used to feel so guilty going out and spending money on myself. I just felt, I make all this money, I should not, but then it would go anyway. It was this weird sort of mindset. It was like strange, but I saw my parents work really hard. I know other people have that as well, especially when you have parents that weren't born here. They worked so hard to give us the life that they did. And yeah, there's so much like trauma that can be found in your money beliefs. So I definitely think that one of the main things, if you are on your financial journey, is to go back and unpick some of the things that you believe about money that you might have inherited from your childhood. And it might not have been things said to you like money doesn't grow on trees. It could have just been what you saw. So bad financial decisions being made, or as I said, parents working really hard and scrimping and saving to give you a better life. Look at all those things and really think about how it might be affecting you now and your decisions around money. So definitely mindset.
I love that. So when we talk about mindset, the next thing you said, I don't know if it's the next stage is that you talk about now look at ways to grow your money. Now, I like that idea. I like that because, yeah, like money grows on trees. So there's lots of leaves on trees. Money does grow on trees. So tell me how we can grow your money.
Yeah, so that's definitely like the latter stages of your journey. You definitely want to look at money management tools before. So look at obviously like dig into your mindset, then do a financial audit of exactly where you are. Like, people don't track. You've got to track your money. You've got to track your spending. It's so important. Like, we've saved thousands for clients just with this step. They have no idea where £300-400 is going every month, and a target run that you're making. Like, what about that? But you don't realize because without tracking, it's like in your head, it's just not enough. Like when new clients are like, yeah, I just do it in my head, I've got a really good grasp of it. No, you haven't. You have to come up with some sort of system, whether it's a spreadsheet, whether it's pen and paper, whatever works for you, do you, but track, really understand where your money is going. Then you want to look at money management tools. So for example, you need to I talk about this so much, like an emergency fund. Everyone needs to have an emergency fund. There's so many people in the UK that don't have a penny to their name, and they'd have to go into debt. They'd have to go into debt to cover like their fridge breaks or any random little thing. Like, that's not good. And that's definitely something that you want to have in place before you look at growing your money. So have a look at money management tools, have a look at high yield savings accounts. It would be important. Great place, especially now with interest rates going up to curb inflation, which actually came in higher than expected in the month of April. Definitely look at high yield savings accounts, have your savings in there. You can have instant access, but you can get like 4% right now, which is like the difference of 10p in your current account or earning £40. Like, why would you? It's free money. Definitely look at high yield savings accounts. Another thing that I think is really important is having different pots, like having your savings, your emergency funds, really important. And then so you're saving for a house deposit or a wedding, have that in a separate pot. That's called a sinking fund, like an expected cost. Having these different pots and putting them in different places like that is so good to keep organized. But then, yeah, once you've got a good grasp of what's going on and you've utilized tools like high yield savings accounts and things like this, looked at your credit score and all of that, then definitely you want to start growing your money, as you mentioned, which is what you're excited about.
Yeah,
so yeah,
so
investing.
I want to go back a step because you said having the pots, and I did read a book. It was Profit First, and I was reading the one for ethnic minorities because obviously I have a little bit more of a background in terms of money, and it was saying having 7 accounts, and that kind of helped me because when I read this book before I set up my business. That was the first step. And I was like, 7 accounts, that makes sense to me. So then instead of having 1 account, my husband was like, what are you doing? I said, I'm setting up all these accounts for what? Because I'm setting my business up. And he was like, why? Because Profit First said. So that's why. And I went and I got an expense account. So I've got an expense account. I've got a tax account, a profit account, an income account, And then I remember then the bank said you can't have any more accounts. I was like, what must I do? I've got I need another 3 more accounts. So then I've got a savings account in my other personal account. My account is obviously my personal account as well. So I had to work out where are these accounts and what's going on with them. And my husband was like, what are you doing? And I was like, one thing I don't want is the taxman coming telling me I owe 20 grand and I haven't accounted for it. So every time I get an income, take a percentage, 20%. I probably will get some money back, but at least I take the worst case scenario, put it into the tax account. So that's one thing I'm able to do. But I actually didn't realize that one of the pots that I did do when you said pots, maybe I've got a bit better over the years from when I started out, is I had a birthday, and I need to set this one up because I haven't got it now because I smashed it. Those little like smashables, those little pots that you smash. Like piggy, it's a piggy. What do you call it? Money box, whatever it is. You smash them, you can't open it. I started putting money in them, and then I saved that. And what I did, it was psychological. I wasn't saving any money in it until I said my birthday will be as good as whatever is in there. It came from putting the odd 2 pence in there, 2 notes, £20 notes. I want to have a good birthday, and then whatever's in there, that was how I'm going to spend my birthday. So then last year I smashed it. There was about £350, and then I went out and like did my nails and went to the cinema, ate something, and went to the spa, and I used that's how I had my birthday. So I like the idea of pots. How do you use your pots?
So I'm very aware of the Profit First. It's a great book. However, I'm someone for simplicity. I don't really like these one rule suits everyone. I really don't like that. I just really don't like that. I think it's so bespoke. I think it depends on each person. If having 7 accounts works for you, then you do you. I don't have 7 accounts.
I've got 6 because the bank didn't let me have any more.
I simplify things as much as possible. I have my savings split into like emergencies, and then if I'm saving for something. So I've got a couple of accounts. I've got maybe 3 accounts max, because I want most of my money to be growing in investment accounts. I don't want my money sitting there. I only want my emergency fund in a high yield savings account, because I don't know when I'll need it, right? I don't want that wrapped in investments in the stock market, because I don't know when I'll have a financial shock and I'll need that money. Because if it's in the market, I might need to take it out at a loss, and you never want to do that. You don't want to be losing money, right? So you want that in high yield savings account. And I'm a big believer of saving for something. I don't just believe like keep saving, beef your emergency fund up, keep saving for something specific. If you're having a wedding, if you're saving for a deposit, holiday, wherever it is, save for those things. But when you're done saving for those, please don't carry on saving. Put that money to better use. You can get a better rate in the market investing. So that's how I see it.
No, I like that. And what I like about that is the fact that you can bespoke something for an individual's needs. So I like that, because everyone's different. So I agree with that. That's what you do. That's the difference with you, is that you're bespoke and you tailor it to the individual coaching, which is gold, isn't it? You can't get that from a book. Sorry, Profit First, but you can't. They're going to do the best idea that's going to do mass, isn't it? And you are doing it for one individual.
Exactly.
Which is perfect. So tell me then, how do we grow? Like, how do we start to grow our money? Because we all need this. So listen out now. This is the growing.
So you've got to start investing. If you want your money to grow, you have to invest in cash-flowing assets to provide an income. Now, I did a post about this, and people probably didn't like it. Passive income and financial freedom, it's just used willy-nilly. It's just, everyone just uses those terms like it's nothing. The only real passive income, and even that is leveraged income, but let's just call it passive income for the sake of this. It's only it's only in the stock market or real estate. And some business ventures. It's used so willy-nilly, passive income. Do you get that? Everyone talks about passive income.
Talk about
it's the new thing.
Reoccurring revenue, maybe is a better word. Recurring revenue, money that keeps coming. Oh, you can get money from over and over again. It's probably my preferred term. But yes, passive income is definitely a term that people want to know how to continue to grow their money. So I'm glad
everyone wants it.
Yeah, everyone wants it, and everyone. One of the things you said, I'm going to backtrack a little bit, is because said you got to keep saving, and I think in saving for something, and I think that one of the things I like to do is be motivated to save. It's the same, but it's not actually saving; it's actually losing. Be motivated to lose. When you're on a diet and you have a holiday, and suddenly you like, oh my days, I've got a holiday in 6 months. How fast can you lose that weight? But it's the same. Yeah, but look, you're like, I'm at the gym, mate. I know exactly what I'm doing. But if you don't have an end goal in mind, it's really hard to know how to push those pounds off. It's have something to look forward to. And I guess it's the same with money, from what you've just said, is that have something to look forward to and use that to keep you motivated in having this pot, because you're going to lose
Exactly.
it's going to be moved to somewhere else. It's the whole flow of it. But I like that you have that idea. And then investments, you said passive income means investments like houses.
So
And
real estate or
I don't have,
something like that.
it says that, what do you know, that is it 1% of ethnic minorities actually have money in the stock market? Percent.
Is that the stat? That's wild. That's so sad.
That is so sad. That's why your role is extremely important, because I know I don't have any stocks. One, for fear, I'm going to be quite honest, fear. I do have other investments. So I've got houses and things like that. I have recurring revenue opportunities as well through courses and memberships and books and things like that. But actually, when it comes to stocks, no one educates us about that in schools. No one. So I worked in a bank, okay, in HR, so it's not quite the same as yourself. I would say, and all I see is there's a big risk associated with it. There's a risk that you can put your money in and you may not get that money back. And that is genuine fear. I don't want to lose my money. So tell me how you overcome that. And not only overcome it, what is there out there? Tell me about stock market. I have no clue. So I'm guessing there may be people who are just like as clueless as me.
So the first thing is, that's a massive myth. You are losing money every day that you don't invest because of inflation. If you understand inflation and you understand compounding, your whole outlook on money is going to change. So if you want to start investing, you want to start making your money grow, definitely look into those two things. It's going to change your whole mindset. So right now, inflation in the UK is over 8%. If your bank account does not provide you with 8% return, which 100% they don't, I'll tell you now, you're losing money. Every single day you're losing money. With inflation that high every 7 years, you're losing so much money, and it's purchasing power. So of course, you're still going to have the same amount of money in there. But what it buys you is completely different from now to even a year ago. Like in the UK, it's just wild. The price has just gone crazy. So you have to invest to make your money grow, to protect your money. So that's a complete myth that you're going to lose all your money. The stock market goes up and down. It's like a cycle. I was talking to one of my clients the other day, and I really like how I explained it to her. So I'm just going to explain it to you guys exactly the same way. If the stock market is literally like when it's hot, it has to rain. Same as the stock market. When it goes high, and it has to collapse. It has to come down. It's a cycle. It's an economic cycle that goes up and down and all over the place. But there are ways that you can manage risk. So of course you need to know your risk appetite when you're investing, but I really like index funds. If you are new to investing, I talk a lot about index funds. Whether you're new, whether you're an established investor, index funds are amazing. They're low cost, they're low risk. Index funds are like a basket of stocks. So it's an index fund, basically is a fund. It's a basket of stocks that mirrors an index. So an index is something like the FTSE 100. Everyone's heard about the FTSE 100, right? The biggest companies in the UK. They're actually, And then you've got the S&P 500, the 500 biggest companies in the US. They're two of my favorite indexes. So a fund will track an index like that. And there's so many amazing things. If I start talking about it, I don't know how I'm going to stop it. They're just incredible. They're low risk, they're low cost. Anyone can start investing in them. Real estate's obviously great, but I talk about REIT, so real estate investment trust, which you can get like a little piece of the commercial real estate side of things, if you want to do that just by investing in a REIT, it's going to take you some time to get into real estate. Like I know you said you've got houses, right? But it takes some time, right, to build up your deposit into, it's not something that you can do overnight, whereas you can start investing in the stock market tomorrow. You can start investing with like such low amounts these days, even like £1 in some cases. So yeah, I'll definitely look into index funds. They do really well. There's this whole debate about active investing and passive investing. So an index fund is a form of passive investing. There's not much to it. You're just investing in the fund. You just keep it long term. Building wealth is really boring. It's not, you meet people and they're talking about Apple shares, and I love Apple, and you can get exposure to Apple in an index fund, which will be much more safe because it's with lots and lots of different stocks, as opposed to buying it alone and then worrying about selling it. Don't try and time the market, I would say. Just invest in index funds, have a long-term mindset, and you can't go wrong.
I love that. Definitely need to learn more, and I'm guessing we're going to have to follow you for that. But before I do, I really want to know just the final bit about you as a person. So tell me more about you as a person. What you do is awesome, but I want to know about you.
Okay, so I thought you might ask this, and I was just thinking how I would answer it. So I really lucky. I went into investment management straight. I studied economics and I went to law school, and then I did full circle and my career was in investment management. And I was literally amongst people that probably weren't ever that close in proximity to a brown person or colored person before. They pronounced my name.
What?
They couldn't pronounce my name. I just felt so out of place, like so out of place. But I just realized that, look, I did really well. And then my whole thing is now I want to help other people like me, because wealth doesn't need to be like stereotypical rich person. It can be anyone. Anyone can do it if you learn how money works. So, but you want to know about me. What can I say about me? Tell me, what can I say about me? I'm not very good at answering this question.
No, that's okay, because you're good at what you're good about, your passion. We know your name. We know that you studied at university. Do you have any other backstory? You said that your family worked hard. Where did they come from? Tell us how you became to be making the decisions that you're making to be the successful version of yourself that we have in front of us.
I think there's two sides of it. Two sides that I could answer that question, and I'll say them both. So one, my parents are from Pakistan. They both came when they were really young, but they still very cultural. I knew from a very young age that I wanted a bit of a different life than probably I would have gone in. And I knew education was the way out for me towards the life that I wanted. So I made that happen. And I just want to help other people do the same and understand how money can be that tool for you to get to where you want and live the life that you want to live. It gives you that independence to just be the person that you want to be. And then the second thing is that I see way too many women in bad situations, in bad relationships because of money. They're dependent in some way because of money. And that it's really sad. So I was in a really long relationship and I wasn't tied down because of finances, but finances were definitely a burden in that case for me, on me. And I think it's really important to know how to protect yourself and be able to get out of a bad situation.
And you were able to do that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, I think we need to have a part 2 to explore more about that. So we'll have to invite you. Or how do you get? Because there may be women out there who have experienced that and want to get out and create the life of success that you lead. So we'll definitely have to have a part 2. But we are now coming to the point where, first of all, there was something you mentioned, which was tracker. Do you have a lead magnet, a way of getting access to said tracker? Do you have a way of purchasing this tracker? Do you have anything that we can start ourselves off with?
Yeah, so I'm currently working on a way for you guys to track to track your expenses and to budget effectively, because everyone throws out the word budget and everyone wants a budget and probably everyone's got one, but not that many people stick to it. I'm working on something that will help you with both those things. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'll keep you updated.
Exciting. So tell me now then, how can we follow you? So below here, what's going to happen next is we're going to have all the ways that we can follow you. So tell us, where are you found?
So my main platform is LinkedIn, just my name, Sadia Ali. And then on Instagram, my handle is Wealth with Sadia.
Nice. Instagram, Wealth with Sadia. You're going to get all the handles down below. Please do go and follow. We all need to learn more about money. I am still learning. I've got some amazing nuggets out. But I wanted to say thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so delighted that you're here. I've learned a ton. I know those who are listening have learned loads as well. And I'm going to continue to follow you to keep learning. Now, I also want to remind those who are watching, continue to tap into SuperWomenCan, because I have got another amazing person coming up on the next episode. So look out. Thank you so much, Sadia Ali, for being here.
Thanks. Thank you for having me. Thank you. It's been so nice talking to you.